there's the white flag. Young Neil Bonnett is in front. The last lap, 2.5 miles to go. Richard Petty goes very high as they go into turn number 1. Bonnett drops right down on the yellow line, pulls out, and he pulls out a lead. Neil Bonnett walking away from Richard Petty as they go to turn 2. Using all the racetrack, right down to the bottom of the track and right up to the wall on the exit of the corner. Both these drivers straining. Talk about strain. Look at this. David Pearson drop kicking at 160, 70, up to 180 miles per hour. Roddy Baker's automobile down the back straightaway. That is the ultimate drop. Field moving down into turn 3, and there are the two. That's Neil Bonnett on the left, Richard Petty on the right, ready to go at it for the finish line here. They're coming down into turn number 4. Richard Petty is making his move. He's up on the outside. They're coming down for the finish this time. Smoldering the tires. Petty coming to the line. He couldn't get through. Bonnett holds him off. Checkered flag is out. Neil Bonnett wins his first super speedway race ever.
I remember the race at Daytona in '76 when Pearson and Petty tangled, and it was quite a wild finish. The white flag will be out as the cars come by. Here it is. 1 lap to go for Neil Bonnett and Benny Parsons, and look at Waltrip closing right in there.
And Bill, with that traffic up ahead of them, this is going to maybe make the race. Exactly what happens, because this group should be catching the group of slower cars right in front of them just about as they come around by the start-finish line.
All right, they peel down that backstretch.
Yeah, there they come into the traffic. This could be absolutely incredible here.
Neil Bonnett, though, is doing a good job of coming through the traffic, and right behind him is Benny Parsons down low, and there's a car that moves in between Bonnett and Parsons, and that's a great break for Bonnett and a bad break for Benny.
Yep, Benny's now tucking down, but he is running out of time, no question about it.
And Earnhardt, who is the third-place car, is going to be lapped now as Bonnett gets the checker. Neil Bonnett wins the Firecracker 400. Benny Parsons is in second place, and Dale Earnhardt will finish third in a blazing finish here.
And this is the white flag with only 1 lap to go. He came out of that corner completely differently. Now, the position is for Cale Yarborough. He's in third position. It'll have remained to be seen what happens now.
And Buddy is showing the horsepower off, but the 21 car works down low. He was skipping that left front wheel, and Cale's trying for the inside. Bonnett's out front. The other two are in a position to slingshot as they head for the top tunnel turn. Bonnett's car, he's weaving back and forth. And Baker right in there.
And Baker's got his hand out the window there. He was waving at Cale Yarborough. I think they almost touched there, but it looks like Baker is dropped back into third position now, and it looks really like Neil Bonnett's got himself sorted out. He's got a tremendous advantage. Suddenly, it could be that Buddy Baker's now going to pass Cale Yarborough. He does as they go into turn 3. Buddy Baker is getting into second position, but right now, unless something very strange happens, Neil Bonnett's going to win this motor race.
Well, he's been all over this racetrack today. He was a lap down. He came back. Look at him way down on the inside. He's got his hand on the fans. A huge crowd. Bonnet waves, and he wins it for the number 21 team. Baker is second, and Yarborough is third. Earnhardt gets fourth. What a race, Jack.
Harold Kinder extends the white flag. 80,000 people are on their feet. Down they go into turn number 1. Bonnett has the advantage. Yarborough presses down to the inside. Parsons ready to make his move. 4 cars. Who will it be at the finish line? Bonnett holds on to the lead.
Bonnett moving down out of the draft to try and full their draft, which he's...
Earnhardt comes to the inside. It's knuckle to knuckle into turn number 3. Earnhardt in front. Bonnett coming back. Here comes Parsons from the inside. The last lap of the 12th annual Talladega 500. What a classic. $249,000 at stake. Here they come to the line. Neil Bonnett, the Alabama gang, is in front. Oh, no. Earnhardt pressing. He hits Cale Yarborough. They picked it up to the line. It will be Neil Bonnett. The Alabama gang pulls it off.
And they come by this time. It'll be the white flag with 1 lap to go. There it is.
Now he's got to make up his mind. Darrell Waltrip tried to get out of turn 2 real fast, draft him down the back stretch and get into turn 3 first of all. There's a reputation about Darlington is that there isn't room for 2 cars side by side going into turn 3 if you're really think he's not going to do it. I don't think he's going to do it.
Well, he's gotten some pretty good blocking action by Neil Bonnett as Bonnett closes him down as they come around turn 4. Everybody is standing in the home straightaway in the stands, cheering there, and the checkered flag goes for Bonnett.
Waltrip into the corner, didn't get it this time.
Waltrip dropped down low. He took a look on the inside. Now he's watching how Bonnett responded. Bonnett moved up about a half a lane, and Waltrip back to the inside again, Mike Joy.
On the backstretch, it will be the white flag this time by a lap and a half, 2.2 miles to the checkered flag, and Waltrip gets the lead. Darrell Waltrip, looking for his 5th consecutive victory, now owns the low groove on the racetrack as they come off the corner. Waltrip made his move, but was it a lap too soon?
The question is, did Bonnett let him go by, or did Waltrip beat him into the corner? Bonnett may still have something up his sleeve.
Neil Bonnett into turn 1, retakes the lead. The Ford is back out in front, and Bonnett from Hueytown, Alabama, looks to win his 3rd race of the season. There's time, though, for one more exchange at the south end of the speedway. Waltrip did it a lap ago. He's got one more shot. They lap by John Anderson, a blur at the bottom of your screen at 160 miles an hour. Here comes Yarborough. Yarborough, bottom of the racetrack. He's got Waltrip, and that will let Bonnett slip away. It'll be Bonnett out of turn 4 all the way to the checkered flag. Waltrip is 2nd by inches over Cale Yarborough.
I think Elliott now will try to just kind of sit there. He's got a couple laps to go. I think he's going to try to find himself some sort of weak point. If he can do it coming off a turn, going into a turn, he seems to be stronger right in the middle of the corner. And with 1 lap to go, he's going to have to do it. He's going to take a look on the inside.
White flag. He's got to do it now. Less than a lap to go of the 400 that they started this long, grueling crusade. Here goes Elliott trying the outside line down the backstretch. Nothing there. Tucks in behind Neil Bonnett. 3 and 4 will decide the issue. $450,000 on the line. Elliott looks to the inside, slips up on the outside. He'll try the long way around. They're off turn 4. They're coming to the checkered flag, and Neil Bonnett will win the World 600.
Down toward the end, a lap and a half away from this race. As we mentioned, next year is the 25th anniversary World 600, and Charlotte has been making plans for 2 years for that occasion already. And of course, in October, as the white flag comes out, the Miller High Life 500 will be run here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Last year, a tremendous race that was won by Harry Gant. Under the white flag, down for the final lap. And Neil Bonnett must be counting his blessings. A valve cover retainer washer was what broke what another man heard. You'd think those mechanics would be deaf after all those years to hear something as minute as that, Bill.
When it's something that important, kid, you can always reach back for a little extra hearing or anything.
Here comes Neil Bonnett down. Richard Petty is closed up some as we get down to the finish. It will be a checkered flag 2 years in a row. Neil Bonnett pulls it off and wins the near $500,000 World 600 on the 1.5 mile Charlotte Motor Speedway. Harold Kinder drops the white flag. There's 1 to go. Bonnett making the comeback. Looks like he's going to do it. Bobby Allison back there in the 3rd spot as he goes into turn number 1. Down on the inside, there goes Waltrip around him, and there's problems on that 11 on the 22 car. As they go down the back straightaway, Neil Bonnett in front, Buddy Baker in 2nd. Checkers a 1/3 of a lap away on this 1.5 mile track. Surprising circumstance just at the finish of the Atlanta Journal 500, and after it looked like it would be Yarborough's and then it would be Allison's, give it to Neil Bonnett in 75, the winner. Buddy Baker's coming home 2nd.
Gant's the leader. He is 1 lap away from going to victory lane. Neil Bonnett is on his bumper. Terry Labonte and Lake Speed are right there.
Harry hung right on the bottom of the racetrack through turns 1 and 2. Neil Bonnett got a little bit high.
Back straightaway, and it looks like Gant all the way. He's got the advantage.
He really does. He gets up a little bit too high in turn 3.
Here comes Bonnett. Gant comes down to the bottom, and they touch. Gant gets a little out of shape. He's on the outside, but here comes Bonnett. It is too close to call.
I have no idea.
Bonnett pulls up closer, ever closer. Gant trying to hold that momentum. Here comes the finish line. Oh, and give it to Neil Bonnett. Harold Kinder waves the white flag. There's one to go.
Now, because Neal has been running so relatively slow, Allison and Rudd are closing up too. If these guys get together in turn 3 and 4, could it be Rudd or Allison? They're right together also.
Into turn number 3, Neil Bonnett still has the lead, but Darrell Waltrip is going to make one final bid to the inside. Now he looks low to the inside. Coming off the corner, he's not going to be able to do it. Neil Bonnett wins. Waltrip's second spot.
It looks like it may be coming around Harold Kinder, taking that white flag in his right hand, about to put it out. It's down, and the last lap is underway for Neil Bonnett. Bessemer, Alabama, going down into turn number 1. Last circulation around this better-than-mile track. He'll have himself a new record if it all hangs together. Beautiful race for Bonnett today, and what a surprise. A good surprise for Neil Bonnett. Here he is for Tim Brewer and company, who had a disappointing season. Great way to come back. Neil Bonnett wins his 16th Winston Cup race by 2.5 seconds over the Ford Thunderbird.
By his fingernails and toenails clutching to the side of this rock, which is called the Richmond Fairgrounds. White flag, 1 lap to go. It'll be worth almost $300,000 to him to get on plan 1, plus the victory here today if Neil Bonnett can hold on this last lap. Now, he is some gritty guy.
And I can assure you the first person that's going to hug his neck is Dale Earnhardt, because they are partners.
Here they come down to the line. The finish at this afternoon. The checkers are out. And Alabama's Neil Bonnett, 4th a week ago at Daytona, comes back and wins here today. Ricky Rudd has to settle for 2nd.
The white flag is displayed by Harold Kinder, and we've got only one more lap around this 1.01-mile racetrack at North Carolina Motor Speedway. Lake Speed is dropping back just a little bit, apparently convinced now that he just doesn't have it to pass Neil, and he's going to settle for a 2nd place finish.
Well, maybe he's out of gas. Maybe he's low on gas. I don't know.
I think he's going to finish. Here they come off of corner number 4. Neil Bonnett from Hueytown, Alabama, wins the Goodwrench 500. 2nd is Lake Speed. And here comes 3rd. Sterling Marlin pulled away from Alan Kowicki in the closing laps to finish 3rd. Kowicki was 4th. And finishing in the 5th position is going to be Dale Earnhardt.